Yeah, we're just getting caught up on a couple of things here. This is the piece I was working on before. It's the nose gear for the airplane guy, the ultralight. So this is the piece where I drilled it all out. Then I milled it. Then I used the boring head with the tool to the inside to make the circle. This is the dimension on this just goes through some carbon fiber, so it's not real critical. I mean, it's a half-inch diameter, but it can be, plus or minus, 10. But it's 505. But anyway, that was a lot of work. That was a solid piece of material. Then I got the material for this piece. I showed you it in a package before. So I did the same thing. I drilled it. And I just cut it open. So this is the part here. What happened? Well, I drilled this like I did the other piece. I drilled halfway in a circular pattern on this one. Then on this pattern here, I drilled halfway, and I just made a straight pattern. I did that for both sides. Had to do this side halfway, then I flipped it over, did the other side halfway. I used this 90-degree block for this and this piece in the middle. And this is the dimensions I used for the center hole. So it takes approximately three minutes for each drill. So I think in the center I had 17 holes, and on the outside 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, about 13. Now you got that's 13 on this side, then 13 on the other side, and then another 26. Well, that's 26, and then another 26 on this side, because you got two sides. So it took a long time for this part, but the other part seemed to take a long time too. It did. It really did. So at least I got this finished. So now we're going to mill the sides, and then we're going to bore this hole. I'm going to set it back up over here, and then use the boring head, bore halfway, flip it over, bore the other half. And the piece that goes in here is a piece of rubber, and there's a pipe inside, and you have to stretch the rubber with the pipe inside and then pass it through this bore and then release it, and it's like a shock absorber. So the hole, they don't, if I do one side and the other side, they don't have to line up perfect. They can be off a few thousandths, because there's really nothing that passes through there except, like I said, a piece of rubber that's going to hold a piece of pipe to act like a bushing, like a shock absorber. So that's pretty good. Didn't want to have to bore that all the way through with a 6-inch bar and get a bunch of vibrations, so I found out that's what it was, just a piece of rubber that goes in there for a wheel. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of work, and you don't appreciate it until you're at the end here, All right, we'll continue on with this, get this done. I got other things I gotta do, and I gotta get this out of the way first. All right. Well, I finished up the part, and it looks pretty good. This was a solid block. This is the one where I drilled this way, I drilled that way on both sides. I drilled all around the center hole, pushed that out, ended up boring that hole with a boring bar. And this is the other piece I finished. This is the back and this is the front. And this gets sandwiched between a piece of carbon fiber bulkhead of some sort. But what I did here, the last time I took it to work and I had a ball end mill in there and I worked this radius in here. There's a 3/8 thickness all around this piece. But this time I just took a 5/8, my 5/8 rougher with a little radius on it, and I basically did the same thing as a 3D toolpath. I made a 3D toolpath and I found out what the Z and the Y is, because we don't care about the X, because I had it going this way, so the X was this way and the Y. So I took off the center and I found out what the Z axis height was and the Y, and I just put it there, and then I just moved the table and I just made a straight line across the part, then went to the other side and it came back, and then I moved it in and up and made another line, removing material, and I just continually did that as it went up the part. That's what all these little lines are. That's from the corner of the end mill hitting the part. Now I wasn't going to put I could have put a ball end mill in there and take it to work and done it on the machine, but that would have been like, another $100, And if the guy wants to, he could just sand it. I don't care, or you just leave it like that. I mean, it gets hidden inside the airframe. Nobody's going to see it. But yeah, you could just hit it with a sanding disc. I was going to do that, but I didn't want to, because then that's a waste of my time. And if he wants to do it, he can do it. But anyway, it turned out pretty good. Good enough. All right. Talk to you later.